or something like that. That's pretty much the summer in a nutshell. Does the sound still work? It's been a month. Or something like that. That's pretty much the summer in a... Sounds tinny as all heck. Let's open up the app. Looks like we had a preset reset on the Yeti Nano here. Blue voice on. Blue voice on. Looks like we had a preset reset on the Yeti Nano here. Blue voice on. Blue voice on. Yep, it did that. Let's turn it off. Blue voice off. Wow, that's loud. Blue voice on. Yep, it did that. Let's turn it off. Blue voice off. Wow, that's loud. All right. I don't want to... Voice on. Yep, it did that. Let's turn it off. Okay, enough playing with the Yeti Nano here. So the thing is with Blue Voice and everything, and make sure it's set to the right pattern. Let's see, from cardioid to omni, back to cardioid. Such is the problem when you have important stuff like this done through software, because then a driver update scrambles everything. Hey, look, the people that stopped by already left. What do you know? What is up, everybody? This is Jay, aka Multimedia Jay, and if anybody on the internet tonight isn't going to be one of those snotty people that goes running out the door at the tiniest little thing, I'd love to have a conversation about some of what's been going on. Just have a little chat stream, as activity on this channel has dropped way off. But hey, you know, that's the internet for you. That's people on the internet. That's one of the reasons why I haven't been doing as much. Like, why should I put up with this for what? Peanuts at the most, in favor of just doing more in the offline world. You know, people say that content creators should get real jobs and they should just get a job. Well, I do, and the consequence of it is you don't see as much stuff. So yeah, and I don't feel like making as much stuff. That's all there is to it. You know, and this is before we start talking about the weather. But before we start talking about the weather, we finally have the sound right. You know, and this is before we start talking about the weather, but before we start... So the issue here is that this microphone is a Blue Yeti Nano, and not only does Logitech own the Blue brand... Oh, wow. Really got a lot of stuff caught under there. Not only does Logitech own the Blue brand, they're retiring the Blue brand as well. It's just going to be... It's just going to be a Logitech Yeti... Oh, it's a freaking computer. Computer's blocking all the wires. Yeah, so it's gonna be just Logitech Yeti Nano. I should just put something in that blocks cables from going under the boom arm for this thing. Logitech bought Blue and they're retiring the brand. So literally it's gonna be under Logitech G right now. This is technically a Logitech microphone. And I think those of us who follow the whole situation with Blue know full well that Blue microphones have been declining in quality for the last several years. First one I got was in the early part of the last decade, but now we have a situation here where this is basically a Logitech G microphone. It's all consolidating and stuff like that. Blue might remain the name of some software features from what I've been reading, but in terms of Blue as a brand, it's pretty much over. I'm probably got one of the... We'll probably eventually see these microphones stop being branded Blue entirely. So Blue has been totally absorbed by Logitech, who has been trying to rebrand themselves and restylize themselves as more upbeat, so to speak, and stuff along those lines. So what's been going on? It's been 2 weeks since the video. Last time I did a video, and a full month since when I last streamed. Well, a lot of things. Basically, the reason why this stream is called "And It's Nobody's Fault But My Own" is because I'm going to break this pattern of content creators not taking responsibility for their own channels. So, Straw says Logitech owns Blue mics. Never knew that. Yeah, they bought Blue mics. They bought Blue microphones, and now they're dissolving the brand, so to speak. It's now part of the Logitech G Suite. But if you have drivers and stuff, the drivers have been this way for a while. This PlayStation controller here. So much crap on this desk. And I wonder why stuff keeps falling off the back. But the Blue microphones basically haven't been Blue microphones for quite some time, and they've been absorbed completely into Logitech, who's now this boutique brand of all kinds of peripherals. I mean, I remember when Logitech was the crappier answer to Microsoft in terms of peripherals. And nowadays they have the G thing, and this is the G mouse. I basically retired my last IntelliMouse Explorers because that's getting discontinued as well. Microsoft is getting completely out of hardware except for Surface peripherals. So I don't know how long they're going to keep the classic IntelliMice around, so I figured I'd finally get used to Logitech G to not go back to those no-name brands from China and Taiwan and stuff that keep getting kicked off of Amazon for fishing for positive reviews out of people. But anyways, there's not going to be much of a rhyme or reason to this stream. It's kind of like the vlogs of yore on this channel, because I'm going to be catching up everybody on what's been going on as I've screwed up royally pretty much everything. Nothing this year has gone the way it should have. Period. It's just 2023 has just been a disaster of a year. It's the new 2012 for me, so to speak. It's a disaster of a year. I won't be missing it when it's gone, and I'm just not happy about anything. Now, on this channel, off of this channel, I'm just sick and tired of getting stopped and stopped and stopped and stopped. There's a song in Forza Horizon 5 on the new Epitaph Records channel by The Ghost Inside called Aftermath. It's a very growly, hardcore, metal-ish, punk-ish song. And The Ghost Inside, if you haven't seen this, if you haven't seen the video for this, I've shared it on a couple of social media platforms. Might share it again on Twitter. But they were involved in a head-on, their tour bus was involved in a head-on collision and with a tractor trailer on the way to a show, and both drivers were killed in the car crash, and many of the band members were injured and lost limbs and all kinds of other terrible stuff. And they didn't even know if they would ever play again, but they fought back and they found ways to keep playing. Drummer lost half a leg from the car crash. His friend made some mechanical device that lets the remaining part of his leg operate a kick pedal and even a double bass kick pedal. He learned to play all over again. It's angry, growly music, but it's pretty darn inspiring. It's the heaviest song in Forza Horizon 5, and it's by far my favorite. And one of the big things that's in play with that song is there's a lyric that says, how many times I have to bang my head against the wall before I finally break through? I mean, it's nothing but frustration. It's absolute frustration turned to hope as far as lyrics go. I mean, if you can't understand what the guy's growling, Google the lyrics and read the lyrics. And you'll find out, especially considering the circumstances of that song and when it was written. But it's really, inspiring that these guys fought back against adversity. And I'm not someone to not fight back against adversity. I only believe in going down swinging. You always give the crowd a show, so to speak. You always stand up for yourself. You always fight for yourself. Because if you don't fight for yourself, you're going to lose to somebody who does. I think I deserve more in life. I think I could be more successful than I am. I think I could be doing better than I am. I don't think I should be putting up with the crap that I'm putting up with right now, and I should do something about it, even if it means completely walking away from all this YouTube stuff and never turning a camera on ever again. I mean, just one of the lessons you learn when you're in this stuff long enough is that the internet is not a replacement for having a life. We thought may have gotten away from the need to have friends, the need to stay in touch with your family, the need to do this or that through platforms like Facebook or FaceTime or Microsoft Teams even, if you use it outside of work. We make these internet versions of stuff that we should be doing on our own, and none of them are a replacement. I mean, I can have as many internet friends as I want because the internet brings together literally every niche, everything out there. So you can, if you're into some obscure game or something like that, you can find everybody else in the world who's playing that game on the internet. If you're looking to buy an old NES game that's super rare and hard to find, you can probably find it on the internet. It's one of those things that the internet does. The internet brings together all kinds of obscure stuff and obscure interests and stuff, but it's not the same as being involved locally. I can have as many internet friends as I want. Truth of the matter is, if my car breaks down, I can't call any of you folks to come pick me up and give me a ride. There's always limitations. There's always limitations, and quite frankly, some of this internet stuff actually hurts you more than it helps you. You may think you're getting something that you don't get in the offline world, but it hurts you in the long run. Like all these people with their fake relationships and fake friendships on Twitch and all the parasocial stuff, which, you know, people, oh, one-sided, parasocial, blah, 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 these creepy people in my audience on my Twitch stream. Yeah, well, Twitch, through their business model, encourages that kind of behavior. Who is going to give you the most money? The people who have this weird fake relationship with you. They're the ones that are going to be subbing. They're the Oilers. They're going to gift subs. And after a certain amount of money, they're going to think that they're entitled to something, whether you say they're entitled to it or not. Hence all the crap that we see with Twitch streamers. It's like, I'm at the point where I'm saying that being a streamer is not being a real content creator, because you're not really making anything. You're just putting yourself out there and then freaking out when the consequences of putting yourself out there in this weird, messed up world come home to roost. Like some of the stuff I've been talking about on Twitter. But anyways, how this is not going to devolve into a giant ramble fest, being the first time I've been on, you know, I popped my head out of obscurity in weeks, is beyond me at this point. But let's see here. Straw Attack says, I own a Logitech G502 and G Pro wireless and 2 Logitech headsets. They're great. I never seen a Logitech microphone. Well, it's because Logitech bought Blue, so now these are technically Logitech G microphones. The drivers changed to link your Blue Yeti in with Logitech G software with a firmware update, and now it's going to even continue further with that kind of stuff. But anyways, enough dodging the point of why I'm here. Enough, because I'm not going to be irresponsible like that. Stream title, and it's nobody's fault but my own. We live in a day and age where content creators try to dodge responsibility for things. They make excuses for things. They do pretexts for things. They'll ban people. They'll censor people. They'll do this. They'll do that. Blah, 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 blah. I am doing none of that. I am here tonight to say everything sucks, and I have nobody to blame but myself. I screwed up the tech videos, and I have nobody to blame but myself. Period. My plan for the tech videos was to wrap them up before the summer, because I am not going to be making videos with air conditioners going in the background. Summer, especially with the way summers are getting because of climate change and stuff like that, with everything getting more extreme every year, is going to be about using equipment that I have more noise blockers with, which is the streaming gear, which means the topical discussion videos I want to make and game streams. Not as much tech stuff, especially when it's like it is now, where the air conditioner is like dehumidifier plus. When I bought that air conditioner in the middle of the last decade, the CCUs and stuff were, or the, what is it? The thermal units or whatever it is, the capacity of that air conditioner is enough to cool this house during a normal summer. There have been times when I've woken up shivering with that air conditioner. Not here. Not this summer. The U.S. has a heat wave going on. Europe has a heat wave going on. It is hot. It is humid. Connecticut is the new Florida. We've always been less than an hour from the ocean and had problems with heat and humidity in the summertime because we're less than an hour from the ocean. But this year it is more pronounced than ever. I thought maybe there would be a day where the dew point wouldn't be up around 70, which I'm surprised so many weather things, even big things like the Weather Channel, are getting away from dew point. Dew point in the summertime determines how much everything sucks. Period. It is relative humidity. It's based on how people feel the summer heat. Dew point determines how sweltering your summer is. Here in the summer in Connecticut, less than an hour from the ocean, we often have dew points at around 60 during the summer, a normal summer. The worst parts of the summer will hit 65. If it hits 70, we're in Florida territory, because Florida is usually tropical as it is, 70 to 75. So Connecticut and Florida can have daytime highs in the 80s. We can both be humid, but we'd have a dew point in the 60s. Florida would have a dew point in the 70s, where some of my cousins live. You know, we have my southern relatives down in Florida. They'll tell you the only 2 seasons in Florida are hot and hotter. The dew point in Connecticut, in my part of Connecticut right now, is 72. Bada freaking bing. And I don't mean Microsoft search engine.
Straw Tax says, I get your point. Now that I have a lot of internet friends, I have a YouTube addiction as long as I can remember. I wish I would kill this addiction someday as it's for the better. Just leave your smartphone somewhere. I used to have a saying when I was in college and I was getting fishbowled and cabin fevered by what was going on my college's campus. I have to get off of this campus and go back to the United States of America for a while. I think the smartphone generations who grew up with smartphones need to start having that attitude. You know, life goes on when you don't have the internet in your pocket. And in many cases, it can actually be more fun that way when you just put down all the drama, all the he said, she said, all the crap people are saying at Instagram or whatever, all the flaming going on Twitter, what have you, and just live your life, you know? I realize it's a hard habit to break any of the younger folks out there that grew up with smartphones, but I'm just going to say it's nobody's fault but our own as millennial parents that you folks weren't taught that these things are optional. You don't have to have your mental health destroyed by one of these things. You don't have to have your life fall apart because of one of these things. You don't have to get canceled. That is exclusively the domain of people that live on the internet and stupid people off of the internet who don't understand the concept of people living on the internet, like people in certain companies that don't understand that the intent here is to destroy, 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 destroy. You know? Those people that go after companies and start outrage campaigns many times aren't even their customers. It's all about ripping others to shreds. What do we have here? Dan says, it felt like 90 felt more like that. Oh, the Midwest and the Southwest are getting pounded more than New England, but we're getting some heat as well. It's definitely worse than normal. Straw says, I barely use my phone. It's a computer I use literally every single day. Hey, welcome to the club. My computer is my TV. I can live with no computer, but when I get bored, all I have is YouTube. Well, if you get a smart TV like I recently did a year ago, if that counts as recently, you can start exploring some of the features on it. Especially with what has happened to digital movies, which is why I've got some DVDs here and some Blu-rays here. I have so much stuff to explain, but I'm just going to talk based on chat Harris Heller style because there really is no rhyme or reason here. I've said my channel sucks right now and it's 100% my fault. I haven't done the stuff that I want to do and it's my fault. You know, I could sit here and finger point. I can sit here and finger point and stuff, but the truth of the matter is my channel, my responsibility, especially when I have people that are signing up for memberships, paying $1 a month for what? I do say, though, that I've been in this long enough that, you know, people can view it as, you know, sending a little thank you for the stuff I've been doing on this channel for the last 10, 15 years, but I don't want to be cheesy like that. I want to be making stuff. Now, YouTube is one of the ways in which I still use the background I have from college with media and stuff like that and get some practice in for this kind of stuff. And it's pretty helpful to be able to, you know, entertain others or get others interested in what you have to say via the skills you develop, even just by doing chat streams like this. Just being able to come on here and go all radio jockey and stuff like that. Put some EQ in your microphone so you're not as tinny. I hope I'm not tinny. Just being able to come on here and go, well, I don't want this to sound like the radio. I don't want this to sound like the radio. I'm not going for that. I'm just trying to keep it real and talk about what's been going on here. But, yeah, anyways. Dan says, I have a dumb TV. I want to get into a Roku and use generic Raspberry. Google Chromecast does the same thing. Yeah. Pluto TV and other apps can do the same thing too. A lot of the channels that are on my smart TV for Samsung TV Plus are also on Pluto TV. So, and that's a free service, little ad-supported thingy here. But so is the stuff on my TV. I don't mind there being a commercial. What you're doing is a small podcast. Not even that. The reason why I don't have thumbnails on my chat streams and I just pick an image from the stream, which breaks all the cool kids rules on YouTube, is because this is like the descendant of the way vlogs used to be when this channel first, or when the platform first started. Everybody made videos with their little tennis ball webcams and digital cameras and stuff of them talking about stuff. Get out of here, fly. Yeah, it's been humid around here. You open the door to bring the groceries in and some freaking flies get in, whatever. But yeah, I wouldn't even go so far as say this is a podcast. I would go so far as say we're just talking about stuff. Actually, technically, welcome to Jay's Nerd Lounge. We're just talking about stuff, but yeah, it's the internet. I am well overdue to explain just what the hell's been going on. So it's we even have a new sub, someone who subbed on the 4th of July, but I want to wait for a stream where I'm doing games or something like that to and to say thank you for that kind of stuff. But anyways, yeah, keep the drinks handy and stay hydrated. There's really not going to be much of a direction. There's not going to be much of a direction to this discussion as I'm playing catch up with folks and getting back to trying to do something, if I even still can, in the middle of this wacky ass summer. But yeah, Straw says, "You're not alone, haha. On my YouTube videos, I don't put any thumbnails. Why put so much work in an image set the size of an iPod Nano screen?" Oh, dated reference nowadays. iPods. Uh-oh. Well, I do believe in thumbnails as a form of cover art, not unlike the cover art on DVD or something like that. Or, if you want to get more contemporary, this year's Super Mario movie. I got both Super Mario movies here. It's one of the many things I want to play catch up with you folks on. I do believe in thumbnails as cover art, but I hate the clickbait culture on YouTube because it's basically a YouTube thing. When you get into online video and you start noticing how much YouTube is sticking out these days compared to Netflix, Vudu, Prime Video, if you have Amazon Prime, stuff along those lines. So, and Amazon Prime costs about as much as Netflix. So one of the reasons why Netflix is struggling, Amazon Prime is more fleshed out than it used to be. Some tastes pretty interesting. I took the Walmart pomegranate drink, sugar-free, of course, because sugar will kill you if you do this kind of long-form talking type stuff. I took the pomegranate stuff and I diluted it half and half between 2 pitchers, and it tastes like iced tea now. Weird. No caffeine either, which is good. I got to stay away from it at my old age. Just some coffee, some decaf to wake back up after taking a nap on a Saturday, so I don't even get real weekends anymore because of how work's been going. I like thumbnails, says Straw, as it makes the video look more welcoming of people abuse it and clickbait so much. Oh, yeah, and YouTube's rolling out A/B testing as well as an official feature so that your thumbnail might change. What I hate is people that are so desperate for clickbait, they literally change the metadata within days after a video comes out, and you almost get tricked into watching a video twice because the title and thumbnail both change when they're A/B testing. So it's just desperation for clicks and views, instead of letting content live somewhere. It's not like, say, you take a movie or something and the cover art changes for like a release or something a re-release years down the road and stuff along those lines. All right, so where were we at with this discussion? What are we at for lifetime? 24 minutes in? Either way. So, yeah, the summer is crap. It's basically been hot and humid, and my plan originally was to finish up the tech videos for this season and start a new season this fall after spending the summer doing other stuff. Well, I've spent the summer not making videos. Ugh, darn fly. I spent the summer not doing videos like I planned, but it wasn't for the same reason. There's been a bunch of stuff that's been going on. And so right now it's hot and humid. That's why I got this obnoxious ass fly that won't go away, because I took some stuff to get recycled today. So I had the door open for a minute or so, and random flies came in because it's humid out there. They're all laying eggs like crazy outside in this jungle that we have of the Connecticut woods and stuff like that. You got all this crap going on here and other stuff. Got all this stuff going on. So yeah, I did mention that we've had Florida dew points. Well, if I didn't mention it already, with this being a giant spin art of a discussion, this has just been going on and 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 on. We've gotten no relief whatsoever. Out here in these woods, there's not much out here except for warehouses and Walmarts. I prefer to be in the industrial park with people that actually, hopefully don't cry about having to do some work in a workplace. So I'm out here in these industrial parks and these warehouses, because nobody needs my tech skills in the area right now. I'd have to move if I wanted another tech job. But we've had some restructuring because we eliminated the night shift. So the last somewhat techish role that I had, running a palletizer machine and using data queries to work with make sure it kept running as much as possible. That was eliminated, and I'm basically just picking orders right now. And there's like no opportunity and stuff. Basically, the way the business operates is the people that have been there forever are doing a giant "I got mine, sucks to be you," and carving out little jobs for themselves and sabotaging everyone else out the door. That's basically what the place is sunk to. You're going to do a dumbass job forever and ever, while your boss has been there forever and ever. That's the dichotomy with these people. There is no career advancement. There is nothing. You do a dumb job and you never amount to anything, unlike your boss who actually got to have a career. That's what this place is sunk to, with only one shift left. So I consider myself on loan from wherever I would want to go next, but where I'd want to go next would probably involve more hours and getting tired more often and more overtime, which I would welcome at the expense of this channel. Because as we've seen, YouTube has rigged the system against content creators more and more and more, even if you monetize nowadays. Then over on Twitch, they can't even get their ads working reliably, which is why they have the little war going on with their own streamers over there, because they don't have the inertia that YouTube has from their robust advertising system. So they don't have this over on Twitch, and they're struggling for money over there too, as things slow down now that the bubbles that got built up during the pandemic and whatnot are bursting. So the world hasn't yet figured out what certain industries are going to look like now that everybody's not stuck home forever and ever, worried about getting COVID. But until that gets sorted out, there's going to be some dominoes falling and stuff along those lines. But either way, it's been a disaster. It's been an absolute disaster of a summer. So my idea was, and this is how I did the last tech video, blast the AC until it was like 68 in here, then turn all the fans in the AC off. I can voice control the fans, turn them off, then just turn the AC off and make a tech video while the house is heating back up, then stop and turn the AC back on and blast it again. We can't even do that. What the heck? What, I missed something when shaving? We can't even do that. I got one of those stupid skin tag things because I'm old. But yeah, we have one of the reasons I have these glasses, by the way. I got one obnoxious one up here that's been bothering me. Hope it doesn't turn into cancer one day. Stupid fly. Either way, yeah. So we got this other crap that's been going on. We got a whole bunch of crap that's going on this summer, obviously, but my plan was to do that. Now we can't even do that. What is it in here? I got the AC running, compressor full on, 73 and the temperature's rising, 46 and the humidity's dropping. So it's basically dehumidifier plus. If I turned everything off, the temperature would probably go up to about 80, and then the humidity would go up another 20 points because the dew point is 72. But, the late day sun, this thing can't compete with it anymore. There's just too much heat, too much humidity, too much late day sun, too many parts of the country that are challenging and breaking temperature records. But with us, it's kind of more of like we're getting slow roasted, basically. And so you figure that, plus we had our usual problems with people in the summertime, people that get hired. And so far I'm 3 for 3 with people getting fired who I thought would lose their jobs this year because they had emotional problems. I said, these people are a waste of time. We should not be investing in them. We should just find someone else. Oh, we got to give everybody a chance. Yeah. And they self-destructed when we started doing some work. So we've had more hours, we've had more overtime, which is more money, which is good, as I've had more expenses pop up on top of buying the computer and stuff earlier in the year. I've been punished severely for actually getting to enjoy money that I busted my ass to get. I go out and I buy something because I want to. Something else comes up that costs money that I now have to deal with. It sucks. I'm getting tag teamed by this. So I probably can't have any fun for the rest of the year. I might actually end up selling some stuff, like some of my consoles and things like that. Might just get out of console gaming. With console gaming, I don't play anything anymore. I just play stuff on PC. Movies, I just watch stuff on PC. I watch stuff on PC. I've gotten Blu-ray on PC working reliably now to where it's not stuttering the frames. The new processor and faster RAM is better with my older Blu-ray software, although I could go PS3 if I really wanted to. I run a 1080p system because of this legacy compatibility, and I don't need a 4K monitor point blank and that other stuff. But we got all this going on. And so you can imagine, though, in this never-ending slow roast heat wave, in a building that's not climate controlled, we're running around 8 to 10 hours a day, you still have goals to make no matter what the weather is. Oh, you can stay hydrated, but the most you get is industrial blower fans. There is no air conditioning in this place. And we have people self-destructing and making things miserable for everybody because they lost their jobs, because they got fired, in some cases with HR stuff where there was almost a fight in the building or something like that. So yeah, abusive behavior, crap like that. I called it out. Nothing was done about it. It's more money for us at the expense of we get to live the American dream of working and sleeping. And if there's time for anything else, maybe something else. Going from running the palletizer machine to picking all the time and especially restocking all the time is more twiddly finger hand work that I've done than I've done in a couple of years. So I've had big problems with hand fatigue on the weekends. I'd get up and I'd try to play some of these games that I have in my backlog and stuff. I play ESO, which is a keyboard mouse game, or Forza, which is a controller game. Regardless of what I play, just holding something for like 5 minutes and my hand falls asleep because everything's so exhausted. I bought a pair, I had burning joints, the whole 9 yards, from doing more work this year physically than I've done in years for less money. 2 pay cuts, the elimination of night shift and going back to what I'm doing right now represents 2 significant pay cuts as well. So I'm working harder for less money at a time when other people are finding their fortunes. Drag me out back and shoot me or something. I don't know. I don't think there's ever been a year where I felt this much like a has-been, especially with these folks working for them, than this year. It just has never been this much where I'm like, what am I doing with myself? So, then weekend after weekend after weekend where I really couldn't do anything. Saturday was reserved, especially with the overtime and how I was being ground with repetitive stuff over and over and over again. For the first time in many, many years. Probably the most repetitive job I've had in a long time. Hand fatigue eliminated Saturday. The only option I had was Sunday. I come home because, heaven forbid, we operate like a normal warehouse and just have 2 hours of overtime at the end of the shift. These knuckleheads, because they're lazy asses who don't want to track breaks and lunches, will start you early on day shift. There's no more night shift to bump up against, but we still come in an hour early if there's overtime. We start an hour early, stay an hour late, instead of just coming in at normal time and staying 2 hours late. So every single time we need overtime, it's daylight savings all over again with flipping things an hour. I get tired at 5 o'clock in the evening nowadays. 5 o'clock in the evening as a former night shift guy. So that doesn't lend itself to YouTube videos, even on nights where we're going in for 7 so I can stay up till 9 at night without any real problems. That doesn't lend itself very well to YouTube videos. So, working, sleeping, a bunch of knuckleheads in charge who are like, that's the way we've always done it, and pretty much refuse to actually take charge and initiative with their operations. That garbage. We have all that going on. Of course, things are going to fall apart on this channel. Of course, we're going to get to July 15th, the midway point of the summer. And I still haven't finished the tech videos. The tech video season I wanted to finish. I'm just going to drag it out now. I really don't care anymore. I wanted to change the whole format. Screw it. Keep the new Roaring 20s Mulligan thing going. A few more videos than what I planned. You know, we'll see if I ever get to some of the stuff I want to make videos about. We'll start the conversations with streaming gear to make videos talking about technical issues and throwing in my opinions on things that previously would have been part of a chat stream, and reserve the chat streams for discussions like this and talking with chat like this. And most importantly, coming up on the 20th anniversary of when I first played Morrowind, I'm just going to walk away from all this tech stuff and just stream Morrowind with the Play Some stuff set up without doing anything the way I wanted to this year. And it's nobody's fault but my own. I'm the one who played Forza instead of finishing the videos. I'm the one who played ESO instead of finishing the videos. I'm the one who played Hogwarts Legacy instead of finishing the videos. I'm the one... Whoops, sorry, cat. It's a stuffed cat anyways. I'm the one... No way! The freaking cat's the mascot of this crap. If that was a real cat, I would have gotten clawed for that. It is nobody's fault but my own, and I'm going to actually come out and be responsible for my own screwing up on my channel, because we live in a day and age where so many content creators act like they're influencers who don't have to follow the rules. Oh, that restaurant didn't give me a discount on my food. Do they know who I am? I have blah blah followers on Instagram. I'm going to say bad things blah 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 about the restaurant on Yelp. I'm an influencer. I don't want to be anything like that. It's stupid. It's so horrible. So horrible how many people think they're entitled to so much just because they bought a camera and can make YouTube videos or Instagram reels or selfies. And, oh, they're photogenic. They're pretty. They take selfies and put them on Instagram. Wow, everybody needs to kiss their ass now. Did you hear that? Everybody who's good looking, you got to kiss their ass everywhere they go. I'm not here to be like that. I'm not here to be like that at all. It is nobody's fault but my own that I've screwed things up this much, that I let the crap that's going on around me affect this channel. Period. It is my fault. I'm responsible. And now, it's like, you know, my grandfather used to say to my dad back in his younger, wilder days, son, if you get yourself arrested, you get that one phone call from the police station, don't waste it on me. You know, you got yourself into trouble, you can get yourself out. Same deal. I haven't gotten arrested or anything, but I got myself into this mess, and I can get myself out. Full stop. I'm the moron here. I'm the irresponsible dumbass who hasn't been making stuff when people have signed up for memberships. I'm the one that needs to take credit for this. I oversee it. It's my channel. I call the shots, and I've been making mistakes. And that is more than I can say for some people in this position with stuff that isn't YouTube channels. Full stop. So everything's gonna be scrambled. I, for over 6 months now, have had, remember the Jufu light, the little disc lamp that I bought that I couldn't really, that's been over there off camera to light me up better so I can look less like a guy watching TV in the middle of the night and actually look more like a real streamer, particularly when things get dark and I get smurfed, kind of like what I would do if I take OBS and I shrink it down. Right? No, there's the two screens has its issues. Like if I do this, now I'm getting smurfed by my background. Although I have found the Nexigo the Nexigo app that controls the webcam independently of OBS. So I should be better with not having to adjust the camera all the time. Because I can pop open the Nexigo app or make it automatic when Windows starts and then just load the preset to set up for a stream. Good. Software controls and some of this stuff is kind of rubbish these days. But yeah, it's nobody's fault but my own. This didn't go the way I wanted it to, and now I'm going to stop being an idiot, and I'm going to do things out of order. So I started playing Morrowind for the first time in late summer of 2003. I've wanted for years to do a 20 years since thing, and I wanted to stream that. I figured I would be doing that in the summertime when it was too hot to make videos without running fans in the background. And, well, I don't really like making videos where all you hear is and I'm shouting over the fans too much the whole video. I think I can do better than that, and I think I can make better use of my time during the colder parts of the year when we don't have as much noise to make tech videos then. That's kind of like the whole streaming versus videos thing, how to siphon it all out. Anything you can do with streaming gear and noise blockers and stuff like that, Do it in the hotter parts of the year. When I first started this channel in 2006, it was a bunch of videos from September to December of 2006. It was an autumn thing, and I kind of nodded to that because autumn is like a great time to make videos before you have to worry about shoveling snow and getting up early to run the snowblower and stuff like that, or if it gets cold or whatever, and stuff along those lines. But so yeah, I wanted things to go one way. I screwed it up. I'm going to be responsible enough to say that I screwed it up, and things are going to go in a completely different direction as a result of that. Not going to get the new season of tech videos. And let me just say right now, what I'm looking for is just go into legacy format with those. So all the things people liked the most, make that the format, and that's that. Because I've been finding out on YouTube recently when the algorithm has messed up and showed me some smaller YouTubers as tech videos instead of the same 6 or 7 over-polished videos from the same 6 or 7 tech video creators at the top of the pack. I found out the videos that I make, the style that I make, is very unpopular and not used by very many people on a regular basis. So only once in a blue moon do I even see that there's anybody else on this platform who makes tech videos the way that I do. The algorithm doesn't know what to do with me. The algorithm just doesn't know what to do with me. So I'm going to give it something to munch on, and then people can come over through those and then find out about the tech experiments and be like, hey, I like the Delosaurus and whatnot. It's nobody's fault but my own. It's nobody's fault but my own. So there's certain things that the algorithm has an easier time with because it recognizes them more easily. And then there's the stuff that I do, which might be more at home on grade D failure, failure central indie Netflix if there was one. It's like some of the movies I've been watching on my smart TV lately because I've been coming home from work knocked out by the heat, too tired to play video games even. So I'm just watching movies, which is why I have the Mario movies here. The Super Mario Brothers movie came out and it got me back into Blu-ray. I watched this on Blu-ray and streaming services and all kinds of other stuff. And that's why I wrote what I wrote about how DVD is no longer the mainstream format or even upscale DVD, but streaming's the new DVD. I also picked up the 90s Mario movie with Bob Hoskins, the bad one. Just for the heck of it. It's got a campy cult following nowadays, but just for the heck of it so I can finally have it in my collection. I also found out about Vudu's disc to digital, and so I've been converting some of my Blu-rays that didn't come with digital copies over to digital formats for like a couple of bucks and stuff. It's pretty cool. But anyways, I got to play catch up with this chat too. We'll do that shortly. So the idea of legacy is let's just take what people have liked the most and what the numbers tell me people have liked the most, and that would be 2015. 2015 with some of the newer stylings and stuff like that. And let's see here. No, Winamp, I don't want to beta test your next version or whoever owns it. And a certain something that might be familiar, I want to become the permanent theme for my YouTube video, for my tech videos. Some of you folks are going to know it the minute that I play it. Let me see. Where's my... Let me turn Winamp up to 50% of the volume. What I'm talking about. You know how Linus got away from that that song that he used to use in all his videos for whatever reasons, and but people still associate the do 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 do. You know, people still associate that electro theme with Linus videos. This thing right here, I want to do the same with tech videos. It was also the shortest intro I've ever done because of the pacing of the song. People don't like long intros. I mean, the intro that I have right now, which uses Hachi Roku, which is one of Harris Heller's Stream Beats songs. It uses the wailing guitar solo. I love that. Part of what I've been using the reason why I used that song was as a throwback to when I used some kind of rock and roll song to start off videos with. But as I found out, especially after passing 40, guys like me nowadays, we're made into the bad guy so many times. We're the people that have been around long enough to become the villain. So I'm going to have a little fun with that. This blue that I'm wearing right now, it's going to become just an around the house shirt. I wear black a lot at work nowadays because it's good for dealing with truck grease or sweat and stuff like that. So I wear black a lot nowadays. It's also fun because with my tech background, if I had more of a mechanical background, I could be one of the maintenance guys who all wear black because the grease they deal with. But it's fun to... I think one of these days I'm going to mess with the maintenance manager's head. He's going to mix me up with his techs so they wear black all the time. I think I want to change my color from blue to black. Redo all the pictures of me wearing black using Geek House Dark Mode and kind of becoming like a Batman type, anti-hero type, smart-ass guy. I don't have to be like 80s cartoon villain or anything, but the way things have been going with the way people behave on Twitter and stuff like that, I've definitely fallen into a more rough around the edges rock and roll niche, so to speak. You know, I don't want to get like Nickelback or anything, but I've definitely fallen into that niche. And there are times when I'm a smart ass or a hard ass or sometimes a stupid ass. But I've always been a little rough around the edges. I think it's about time I had some fun with that. Get some darker hair dye, darken my hair up. Right now I got it buzzed super low because it's so freaking hot and humid out. But when I actually get back to having real hairdos again, when the dew point falls below 60 this fall, you know, throw some hair dye in, darken things up, and then wear black to match. You know, have the blue and, you know, I talk about the blue and black attack. Don the colors of Monolith. Blue shades, black shirt. Be that badass that I've always wanted to be with this kind of stuff. Let's play some catch up with the chat. That's what I had in mind for the tech videos. Legacy format. We'll just change the intro every so often. Stop trying to fix what isn't broken. I mean, when I first moved here and I went to 2016, we had that 30-second long intro because of the song that I used. And then in 2017, same problem. Then I had no intro music for years. It just didn't seem like it seemed like I lost something in terms of character. The numbers tell me, and you folks tell me, that 2015 is the quintessential wacky world of multimedia J. You know, regardless of what music I play with throughout the rest of the video, open with some freaking metal. And if I'm going to have a song associated with what I do, just like what Linus had, even to this day, people still associate that Laszlo song, Supernova. I finally remembered the title. People still associate that Laszlo song with Linus Tech Tips. I want Ethan Meixel's March On song, dated though it is, to be associated with me and the videos that I make. That's what you folks have enjoyed the most over the last 10 years since I've been doing these. That's what we're going to go with. I just got to get to it. There's a couple of things I want to do before I end the season. And here's what I'm looking at here. So, I've been stung recently by lithium batteries and the problems they have when they swell up. I am out a few mobile devices right now because of the problems with lithium batteries. I want to talk about that. My microwave died. I just got rid of it today. Brought it to be recycled at the town drop-off. And I've upgraded to a Galans, which is a combo wave. It's a microwave with an extra heating element in the top and fans, which does microwave, toaster oven, microwave stuff, toaster oven stuff, and air fryer stuff in a box the size of my old microwave. It's like a nerd microwave of sorts. It doesn't have a numeric keypad or anything. You have to increment the time by 1 minute, 5 minutes, etc. Just GALANZ or GALANZ for you Commonwealth folks. Just check it out. Walmart has it as one of their SKUs nowadays. So I just figured I'd check it out instead of getting another generic microwave and making soggy microwave food. Might give me some flexibility in how I cook vegetables or cook like frozen pizzas or something like that. And especially in a house like this where the oven is a gas oven, and the stuff that the particulates coming off of a gas stove set off the hypersensitive smoke detector. I've basically been able to use the smoke detector as a kitchen timer the whole time I've been in here if I use the stove. So I don't even use the stove very much, if at all. So anyways, let's play catch up on the chat. But yeah, so microwave died. Maybe take a look at the galons. I no longer use Sunbeam hot shots. I've been meaning to make a video forever about going from Sunbeam hot shots to electric kettles and what that's like. The George Foreman grills. Yeah, hot topic on here. My original video on it got 30,000 views so far. Yeah, I had one of them blow up on me. The heating element exploded, and it blew through a brand new freaking plate. I got a crack in a plate. Fortunately, it's in a spot where I can just put the burger somewhere else and just have the plate go through, its life cycle and then get rid of it. But I had a George Foreman grill blow up on me. So me make a video about that for a long time. A brand new George Foreman grill that was supposed to replace it has been sitting and collecting dust on my counter because I haven't gotten around to making that. And lastly, Windows 11. One of the reasons why I bought Nerdovo, the laptop, was to toy around with Windows 11, even though it sucks and it's turning into the new Windows 8, and businesses have been slow to adopt it as well. I'm not totally unfamiliar with it, but I want to be familiar with it because I'm a tech guy. So I want to install Windows 11 first there and then on the main system. But unfortunately, something in that laptop, Nerdovo, is loose. It started screwing up my computer right after the warranty expired. Either the SSD or the RAM is loose and needs to have its contacts cleaned and be reseated or be replaced. The system keeps hard locking and restarting and not detecting the hard drive, not because of power problems, but because of typing too much with the keyboard. And this all conveniently happened right after the warranty expired. This is why I build my own computers. Off-the-shelf stuff is crap these days. I pretty much have to buy a refurbished business laptop nowadays to not get some gotcha from the consumer stuff that's out there these days. Tablets and smartphones have been more reliable to me than laptops have. I don't know why people make such a big deal out of them. Let's play some catch up on the chat. That's what I have in mind. But I want to get to the point where I'm wearing black shirts and I'm playing metal music when I start tech videos. I can do more mainstream stuff for the commentaries that use the streaming gear. But it's for, Wacky World of Multimedia J, the tribe has spoken. You folks have spoken. You've very much you pretty much have cemented through the way things have been the last 10 years. 2015 was your favorite. You still like when I play that song today. That's all I need to see. So let's do that. Let's play some catch up on here. We were talking about smart TVs last time and thumbnails. People are modding iPods. Something like that. Clickbait sucks. Yep. YouTube might block ad blocker. Smells like someone wants some extra bucks. Well, ad dollars are not as lucrative as many people think they are. They scale, yes, but one of the things that caused the .com crash way back in 20 years ago was too many people thought that advertising on the internet could pay for businesses, and it couldn't. The rates go up and down. The supply and demand goes up and down. Advertising on the internet is traditionally been a disaster. I've never believed in advertising as a way to fund something. And you know what? That's what's happened here. You have even these full-time YouTubers. They don't do advertising anymore. Those days are long gone. They're doing sponsorships and other crap, and they're putting it into the YouTube videos as well. So it really makes me wonder what's going to happen when a company in an in-video ad for like a Linus Tech Tips or something has some major scandal. The brand is ruined forever, and now you have all these YouTube videos out there. You have all these YouTube videos that have this ad in them for a service that everybody associates with something bad. I'm just waiting for that to happen with one of these big channels. Let's see here. Straw said, there's a war, even who's going to see on Twitch or switch to Kick. Kick is nothing. Kick is an outrage platform. The only reason it's going to get anywhere is because Twitch sucks. excuse me, all Twitch needs to do is stop sucking, and Kick has no future. All that YouTube can stop sucking for streaming, and both those platforms can collapse. Or Facebook can stop sucking for everything, and there's a giant war for literally everybody else to stick around, but I don't expect that from Meta anytime soon. Sounds like me, says Dan. Go on the computer, hands just start. See, this is the thing, you know. Some folks are going to say, oh, the other problem I've had at work is I was doing so much repetitive stuff that I was getting a swollen, stiff dominant hand of the southpaw, so left-handed. So, and I had two fingers start going numb on me. Most of the numbness has gone away, but first two and thumb sounds like carpal tunnel. So that spooked me into pursuing, you know, worker comp and getting checked out and stuff like that, which these folks are pretty cool. They have an insurance company that does it. You just have to make sure they're not driving you all around the state for mundane services other than medical visits, because, you know, I'm in an area where there's some really good specialists and therapy places without having to drive on a big road trip. You know, you get your mileage reimbursed, but why do you want to put wear and tear on the car if you can avoid it, especially with traffic in the more built up areas that you have to go to for these things. But still, I have work restrictions. I have to pick all the time now. I can't stock anymore. We're trying to see how much this goes away. It's been stuck at, like, you know how if you have a cold and you have one symptom that sticks around long after the cold goes away? I mean, take this case. Tapping it with these fingers feels just a little different than tapping it with my other fingers. So I'm not 100%, but still trying to take it easy. So the other thing too is to try and cut down on the hand fatigue and other stuff. I haven't been playing games as much. I've been watching movies. So the Mario movie got me back into watching movies, but I've also found out how much digital has progressed. Digital copies used to be a joke, like a 480p MPEG or DRM'd MPEG type thing that you would put on your phone and watch on your phone as a file. But Movies Anywhere, and the fact that all these digital platforms link everything together so you can access it as purchases through Movies Anywhere, that's cool. So I can buy a DVD of something. This movie doesn't have it, unfortunately. But I took My Stepmother is an Alien, which was a DVD movie from the 80s, bought a Blu-ray equivalent for like $5, HDX format they call it. And I have a movie where I only had the DVD, but now I have something in high def that I can watch on my smart TV or my computers through accounts and stuff, like Steam for movies, basically. So it's cool because Groundhog Day was a movie I bought for $3 on DVD from Big Lots many years ago, so early 2010s money. So account for inflation, it would be even less today. In terms of purchasing power, and it cost $3 back then, it would be even less today because of inflation. Because you're talking about spending a certain amount of money, blah, 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 or something along those lines. But that plus $5 to get an HDX upgrade, upgraded me to something high def that I can watch on my smart TV at 1080 for less than the cost of the Blu-ray for Groundhog Day on Amazon. And Amazon discounts their Blu-rays. So, first of all, this movie, I've watched this movie tons of times. Initially it was just to compare Blu-ray versus digital to see how much digital is the new DVD. But now I'm just watching it because it's Mario, and I watch it through digital formats. I watch it on Prime Video. I watch it on Vudu. I watch it on Samsung TV Plus. I watch it on whatever will play it, which is a lot of stuff because of Movies Anywhere. And then, of course, you have Vudu's disc to digital to upgrade movies that don't come with digital copies if they're eligible. Not all movies are, but I've had some fun with spending about $20 on $2 conversions to get digital copies of Blu-rays and not have to play the discs anymore. I also picked up the entire Jurassic Park original trilogy on Blu-ray digital from Amazon because the movies are down to $6 each. Probably like Walmart bargain bin for because I have 2 of the 3 Jurassic World movies, the 4th and the 5th movie in the series. The 6th one, Jurassic World Dominion, was on digital, so I watched it through Prime Video as part of my Amazon Prime subscription. And then I went out and got the Blu-rays and added the digital copies. So now I have unless I buy Dominion whenever Jurassic World Dominion comes off of the streaming services, I now have the entire Jurassic Park series in HD now. I have the DVD, I have some DVD versions of these movies, but it wasn't eligible to be upgraded through Vudu Disc to digital because it was a box set. So I have DVD and Blu-ray of these too. So this has got me interested in getting us away from console gaming and into movies again. Had a stack of movies over there that's been there for a while. I'm going to start watching them, and I'm going to redo my shelves so that movies go over there and the video games go on the other one, because it's a mix of cartridges and CDs, and I'm getting away from disc-based games in general, so we'll put those on the crappier combo shelf stuff with the adjustable shelves. And then put the movies over there and blend. Finally, we can blend DVD and Blu-ray together instead of keeping them separate because, well, enough is enough already. I mean, digital kind of replaces all of that. So it's just amazing. And of course, also, because these digital movie services like Amazon Prime Video have algorithms too, I got curious about a movie because I was watching Jurassic Park. This is the original, right? Yeah. So, because I was watching Jurassic Park, I found out about Jurassic Shark, which is an indie movie, super low budget, cheesy, terrible effects. It looks like something the AVGN would make. It's horrible. It's a horribly, laughably bad horror movie where they use ketchup as blood when the shark attacks someone, or something like that. So, I found out because I watched that movie and its sequel, Jurassic Shark 2, Aquapocalypse. I found out about all the other knockoff shark movies that are like making fun of Jaws and stuff like that on Amazon Prime. Sharktopus, Land Shark, Shark, whatever it is, Noah's Shark. I guess they made a Jaws-y type movie about the Bible story. So I'm poking around and finally seeing what I'm getting with my Amazon Prime membership and actually watching movies because I'm too tired to do anything in the evenings, even play video games, which I have a backlog of those, that's for sure. But yeah, you thank the Jurassic Park movies for getting me back in a Blu-ray. But this is the thing, you know, this is one of the reasons why I stayed with 1080p. Because my TV doubles as a computer monitor, so I want the text to be a decent size in the native resolution without having to scale it like I would with a 4K monitor. So, plus, I don't have the physical room to really benefit from 4K all that much. Other than a better looking panel, as the chat continues queuing up, because I'm falling behind on that too. Other than another panel like that, other than a bigger panel and redoing this entire setup, which I don't really have the room to do right now, and I don't want to spend the money, there's no reason for me to go 4K. So maybe a 43-inch 4K TV if I run out of 1080s to buy. But I'm going to run 1080 into the ground because 1080p Blu-ray is cheap. $5 movies. And here's the fun part. Go to a secondhand store where Blu-rays are showing up even cheaper. Get the disc, even if you don't have anything you really want to play it in. I mean, my main computer has a Blu-ray drive. That's why I've kept an optical drive in my main system. If I didn't have this, I'd just build a plug-in drive like the one I've had that I've been playing Blu-ray on my laptops for years. Still works. 6-speed, read-only, Blu-ray-only drive. Plays DVDs, yeah, but it's not even a burner. Blu-ray sucks and it's very limited on computers, but you can still play it on PS3. You know, there's plenty of devices that'll play Blu-ray at 1080p. But streaming nowadays, especially with disc to digital, it lets you upgrade the quality for a couple of bucks, can go up to 4K these days. Amazon Prime movies can stream in 4K if you put the quality up the highest, which is why I was wondering, why am I watching this video on highest quality that's using buffering? Oh, it's 8 gigs per hour. That's for 4K. Turn it down to the middle setting, which is probably more like 1080p, and everything works again because I don't have fiber yet. That's going to be a project too, because I need the fiber to come in over in the project area and not in the bedroom so it doesn't get slowed down by the power line component of my home network. So I'll have all the fast internet out here and it'll get slowed down to go to the bedroom and stuff. Should be good for throttling traffic so my main systems get the priority through our network equipment. But the $15 movies nowadays are 4K movies. If you're still running a 1080p system, the 1080p versions of the movies are cheaper, substantially so. You'll have like a $5 DVD, a $10 Blu-ray, and a $15 4K disc. When I first got started in this crap 20 years ago, DVDs were $15. And if you don't really care much for physical media, just buy the disc for the digital copy, add it to your library for movies anywhere, and watch it on your Vudu app or YouTube. Although YouTube has the worst experience for movies, but you can get decent quality because streaming is the new DVD. You can even get surround sound when playing movies through something like Prime Video or Vudu or something like that. But you could go to a thrift store and buy super cheap movies, and if they're eligible for disc to digital on Vudu, get an HD streamable copy of it for 1080p for cheaper than the Blu-ray. Maybe I could finally get my dad to stop watching VHS tapes if he sees this. I'm a total cheap ass. And that's not to say that for movies I want to watch once and then I've seen the movie, which is what I used to do with DVDs, by the way, I can't do that with Prime Video anyways. I'm using Amazon Prime because I buy enough stuff to justify it, plus Prime Video, plus Twitch Prime, etc. You know, it's a handy service to have. But the video side of it is my replacement for Netflix. The cost is roughly the same as Netflix, so I might as well get my money's worth, so it's Netflix plus for me. But I have Creed and Creed 2 on Blu-ray. Creed 3, I saw it on Prime Video earlier. I'm probably going to watch that today or tomorrow while I'm doing the laundry. So I can watch videos digitally. One of the problems I've had with Blu-ray is unless it's a movie I really, really like the Mario movie, I watch it once and then I have a disc taking up space on a shelf. If I can watch a lot of movies being a little behind on things through Prime Video, HD with surround sound, I'm going to do it that way too. I can even shut the computer off and only use like 30 watts on the TV because the smart TV can do it all. Smart TV, use the audio return channel to go to the home theater box and power the surround sound straight from the TV. What a world we live in. Just got to know what to do with what device. Let's continue playing catch up. Let's continue playing catch up with the chat, which I'm falling hopelessly behind on. Logan says, I'm guilty when it comes to putting out stuff as well. I mean, look at the last time I put out a real video. That was over a year ago, and that's all on me, lol. Well, you know, you only stick with the stuff that you really care about. That's the way it works here. I mean, we all have limited time. And even the people, you got to be limited. Let's just throw away the myth right now when it comes to being a YouTuber or a content creator. You have limited time no matter what you do. Something, whether or not you're part-time or full-time, determines what you're limited by. As a part-time content creator, you'll be limited via your time. You're working a job or doing something else. Sometimes things get busy like they are for me. Or you're working and sleeping in the middle of a freaking heat wave and you barely have the energy to do anything else. I practically don't have weekends anymore because I'm just getting pounded so much by this job in the summer weather. But you have that going on. If you're full-time, you're limited by you need to make money. You need to make money and pay your bills. So you're limited creative-wise. And there's a whole argument going on with YouTube's employees right now with folks like Hitsman and Renee Ritchie, the YouTube liaison now, about this whole thing of passion projects versus popular projects. But we'll stay out of that because we've rambled for over an hour with this. I don't need this stretching out into like an all-night stream or something. Although I am awake at 7 o'clock at night on a Saturday, thanks to taking a nap earlier, which is more than I can say for how I usually am with this crap that's going on right now. Let's continue here. Dan says, cute cat. Yeah, Amazon. There's actually motorized plush cats that like purr in the background and you see their chests go up and down. There's also the robo cats that you can buy for like older folks as like a stress reliever where they'll purr and they'll react to them and stuff like that. It's like an older folks version of stuffed animals, so to speak. Although I do recognize some of the technology in some of those companion cats as the same technology that was in Furbies back in the 90s. The motion sensors and detecting being petted and stuff like that. This dude suddenly says, "You have my sympathies, Jay. People at my job have no idea how good they got it in regards to the amount of work they have to do, and they still can't do the most simple tasks. They're just making it harder on the people that actually do the work." Hey, I don't care if I'm one of the guys that actually does the work. I don't care if I'm one of the guys that actually makes the money. The problem is the company's struggling. So companies that don't have any money just suck to work for in general. I don't expect much out of them. I learned that lesson the last time I worked for a company that was cash strapped. So I don't expect much from these people. I'm really going to have to leave in order to have any kind of career. That's all there is to it. It's the way things are, you know? But I don't really have any leads to go anywhere except to the city where everything's more expensive. So, and I'm putting up with traffic, and I have more of a commute, which eats even more time away from time I could potentially do videos and stuff, or pick up a second job if I want more money that quickly, because second jobs, even at minimum wage, Connecticut's a $15 an hour state for minimum wage, by the way. Even at minimum wage, second jobs part-time would be more money than most YouTube stuff. Unless I got a whole bunch of YouTube memberships, I really don't have any drive to do anything more than a hobby from the money side of things. Now, it is cool, though. Passive incomes are pretty cool, you know? That's how rich people do it. They have passive incomes of some sort they don't have to put in any effort for. And people like my dad, the way he's been able to retire is he banked enough money in order to be able to live off the interest that he earns every month from a bunch of money he has. He doesn't want to pull from it, but he has enough. He made somehow as a meat cutter, but he's a baby boomer, so that's half the reason. He has enough money to live off of the interest that he gets from his retirement accounts without having to actually pull from them. I mean, if I needed a car or something, that might hurt things a bit, but yeah, I didn't understand how that worked for years, but I guess that's the way it is. I don't expect to ever be able to retire. I'm going to drop dead on the job, just the way it is. Full stop. I'm not going to be like the baby boomers. You know, I'm going to be forced into retirement if I retire at all. I'll be an old guy greeting people at Walmart or something. I could not imagine myself not working. Working is one of the ways in which I feel like I've accomplished something, and it's how I get my exercise these days. So tons of cardio with what I'm doing right now. I just got to get used to it and lose about 30 pounds before I'll start feeling good again, maybe. Straw Attack says, I make YouTube videos for fun. People like that are a real problem this generation. Yeah, the whiny influencers. Wow, you need to treat me like royalty because I have... That stupid fly. I have a zap racket on top of the refrigerator, but it was so loud the last time I zapped anything with it, I'd probably have to put earplugs in before I went around hunting these things to swat them in midair with a couple thousand volts coming from a battery and an inverter. Dan says 20 years. Oh, yeah. I first played Morrowind 20 years ago. So I want to play Morrowind with no mods, looking exactly as it did on the original Xbox. 4.3, early 2000s graphics, because I want to have, like, my dad called it the Immaculate Deception when he got back together with my aunts and uncles. They visited my grandmother one summer. No kids. They just wanted to make it like it was as much as they could when they were growing up, even though they were in their 40s and 50s. So the idea was, how much do we romanticize what we grew up with? It's a baby boomer thing, you know? So that's a question baby boomers have been asking for decades. Me? I want to see how rose-tinted my goggles are for Morrowind, which is really the game that got me into games like ESO, Oblivion, Skyrim. Even World of Warcraft ties back to when I first ran around Vardenfell in Morrowind. I want to face facts with what I used to consider with the... Oh, let's not even get philosophical here. I want to stare down and face the truth with the game that was my free time for my last year in college. I played video games in college to save money. I got myself passed off as a gaming nerd in college so people wouldn't bug me to spend even more money going out and getting drunk. I didn't want to become an alcoholic. I didn't want to get drunk. I didn't want to get caught up in the drinking scene. Some of these people were spending like $100+ a weekend on drinks. Even if it meant like Keystone Light, couple 30 packs of Keystone Lights, they have plenty of booze for themselves and their friends. Some of these people were spending way too much money on getting drunk. I never agreed with that. Might be one of the reasons why I still have a liver at my age. I always wanted to spend my money on stuff that lasts longer. And a lot of the stuff that I bought for my setup is exactly that. The biggest winner was the Onkyo box. When I decided I'd had enough of computer speakers and I went out and bought the Onkyo box that's empowering my surround sound since 2010, I think. Yeah, the capacitors might be drying up in it. Who knows? But the thing still works. Maybe the power supply will blow out and the whole thing will die in a lightning strike or something like that. But it's the one thing I've had to replace the least over the years. I've had to replace computers and computer parts more than what does my sound. And if I ever go 4K, I will just output the 4K to the 4K monitor, and then we'll just have the other thing treated like a 1080p display. That's what I'm doing right now, is I'm basically treating it like a display. I mirror it to the 1080p monitor on screen 2. And I just have the sound go to it. So it's mirrored to it, so that way the sound can play through what it thinks is a third monitor. So if I ever screw up my multi-monitor setup, I just turn the AV receiver off, and then I set things back the way they're supposed to be, and stuff like that. But it's a really cool setup. And it is, other than a few gimmicks and quirks here and there, like you have to set the sample rate to like 100 to DVD quality in order to not get hum and popping noises from the amp. It's actually worked better than most of my speakers that I've had in terms of how it runs and everything. And this is a 2010 AV receiver that was part of a home theater in a box. So the speakers have been great. I think most of my speakers, all of my speakers, have at least a couple of years on them now. I could upgrade the filter capacitors in them to make them sound better if I really wanted to. But in terms of the 5.1 setup I have, this is hands down the best investment I've ever made with this kind of stuff. All right, let's continue catching up on chat because I'm seeing the little thing creep up and up and up as I'm falling behind on it. Logan says the WWMJ format has been, and I scrolled past it. Come on, where is it? Pretty much the same for a long time. I see no problem making it legacy. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, at this point, it is what it is. That's really what it boils down to. Yeah, it is what it is, and it's kind of fun to make as it is, but it's terrible for the algorithm. Straw says, I watched the Super Mario movie at the movie theater. There aren't any movie theaters anywhere near here. I have to go on a road trip and put up with traffic, so I just get the Blu-ray. Hey, I don't have to deal with people poking around on their phones in the movie anymore. I haven't seen a movie since the 90s, so I'd rather not deal with that. Let's see here. Dude says, this platform can be so shallow in regards to the type of personalities are allowed to succeed with the algorithm. Well, that's all because of advertisers. Advertisers are pokey. I think YouTube's brightest future is getting away from advertising revenue and not being so dependent on it. They can have it, but they can't depend on it. That's a lesson they've been learning the hard way, and we've been learning the hard way. And Kick is about to start learning the hard way, too. Unless they want to bankroll that business with casino revenue from stake, they will not be successful with advertisers with what they're known for. Kick is going to get like that, too, as they get bigger. Devin Nash called it. I agreed with him on it. So one of the few times we agree on something like that. The Eternal Classic. This Blu-ray... Yeah, that song was, I actually liked it because it was real metal. I listened to power metal in college, so I listened to other kinds of metal that are more melodic and stuff, but let's see. There's a Blu-ray release of the Hoskins Mario movie in Australia. Yeah, I really don't feel like messing with region codes, though. Plus, it's this. Like, I couldn't even get a digital version of this. It's the Mario movie, and I don't even turn on any sharpening filters. I don't care. It's going to look fuzzy and soft because it's a DVD, but that's all it is. This is like a bare bones DVD release because this movie was terrible at the box office anyways. Not really much effort in terms of the Mario movie. It's one of those things you'll get on DVD because unless you live in Australia, yeah, you get that kind of stuff here. Dan says, working on a mullet. Oh, welcome to the... Oh, welcome. Well, I'm glad to see the 80s have finally arrived in the Midwest. What do we got here? I also associate a certain Nirvana song with Linus. He always uses the same outro song to this day. Well, which one it is? I've got the Best of album from 10 years after Kurt passed away, so I've got all the major Nirvana stuff, including some of the ones from their first album on CD, because I'm old. Black Shirt, Blue Glasses sounds pretty rad, actually. Yeah, well... it's kind of inspired by Trainwrecks TV and some of these other people that are just they're painted as the villain. They're painted as the villain, so they have to fight for their position in terms of people taking them seriously in the streamosphere. But I've been because people are so jumpy and so snowflakey nowadays, I've been getting pushed into this corner. So it's time for me to push back. Take the pronouns thing, for example. I understand he, him, she, her, they, them. I understand pronouns and know exactly what it's all about. But on the internet, it's hijacked by people with emotional problems. You know, we want to talk about live and let live and, you know, letting transgender people and whatnot be properly addressed and stuff like that. But on the internet, you have these activists who make the LGBTQ movement look worse than Antifa. You know, you don't fight fire with fire. You don't need a left-wing answer to Kiwi Farms. It's like, so it's just one of those things where the internet corrupts and perverts something that society in general should just be doing. Plain as day. If someone's not bothering you, what they do on their own time is their own business. Full stop. But not in the wonderful world of TikTok. So since I'm being forced into my old grumpy old guy position on certain issues that I just happen to be more moderate on than some of the fire-tongued people on the internet, that's one of the reasons why I want to do that. People have made me the bad guy, so I'm going to humor them, both online and offline. Even with the job, I'm viewed as a villain by some people. Stick around anything long enough, somebody's going to find a way to make you the bad guy. It's just the way it goes. What matters is what you do with that designation. Let's see here. Rip Grill says, Dan, yeah, the heating element shorted. I heard it in the shower. I suddenly heard this bang and then what sounded like 60 hertz electrical hum. And then my burgers weren't cooked. It's like, what? Oh, the grill blew up. Nice. Yeah, it blew through the Teflon because the heating element shorted. I still have the grill. I haven't recycled it. And because the town only takes recycling on the weekends on the first and third Saturdays of each month, I got a couple of weeks to make a video about how that thing blew up and just show the damage. That video that I did earlier in the year was supposed to replace the one that everybody's misinterpreting. So, and leaving all the nasty comments about, but the algorithm is the algorithm. So, smartphone was fine until the 4G, 5G switch. Lil Shark. Don't forget Sharknado, says Logan. Yeah, how many Sharknado movies have there been? Oh, thanks, Dan. You mentioned Baby Shark. Whatever. You're banned. No, I'm not gonna be all prissy like that. I remember Dollar Tree a few years ago had the RoboCop remake for $1. It was an okay movie. Well, there are knockoffs too. That's what mockbusters are. Now, I'm kind of having fun checking out mockbusters and seeing what movies they're making fun of, because many times I've seen the real movie and then I've run into the knockoffs and stuff and I'm like, what is this? Only Blu-ray player I have is the Xbox One X, says Straw Tech. Yeah, well, I mean, Blu-ray is still perfectly fine even at 1080p if you have a monitor, if you have a display like that. It's just resolutions. Resolutions, unfortunately, outside of computers are used to sell stuff when, you know, we've had resolutions for decades at this point. I poked around with 1024 by 768 and 800 by 600 back in college. And in high school, we went from 640 by 480 to 800 by 600, depending on the monitors we had with our gateway computers. Went 4K a while ago, and I gotta say, it's hard to go back 1080p, though, especially with Dolby Vision HDR, says dude. Yeah, I mean, if you have the screen for it and it's big enough, the problem is my television doubles as a computer monitor. If I was using it more as a TV and I could have like 55 inches and sit on the couch or something like that, 4K would be a lot cooler. But really, unless I get a good panel that displays an image better, I don't gain anything because I don't have the space for it. This is a 40-inch 1080p TV that's also doubling as a light for me with the brightness turned all the way up. But there's a 43-inch 4K TV. I would have to rearrange my speakers in order to get that. So I just don't want to mess with my setup. I'm going to run this TV into the ground and maybe try and find another 40-inch 1080. Just until there's no more to be bought anywhere, then I'll go 4K. It's just 4K also is more taxing with computer resources too. And I'm already an old guy wearing glasses, so I really don't care about getting every last bit of detail out of a 4K thing. So we'll see how it goes. It just seems like 4K, years after I lampooned it back in the middle of the last decade, 4K is still a something that the industry's trying to charge a premium for. They're just trying to charge it in different ways. How are we doing on temperature and humidity? 45, 73. Yep, the sun's down now, so the AC will be able to keep up. That might be part of my problem, too, is I slept through the hotter parts of the day and ran the AC mostly at night. So maybe I'm a bit biased because I was night shift for 5 years. Let's see. I bought Ghost in the Shell. I own a combo 4K normal Blu-ray, but it was good. But I heard the Dolby Visions and HDR is iffy. I don't have any Dolby stuff. It's just regular 5.1. Been running the same sound processor since 2010. So I'm just running into the ground. Maybe get a headset or something if I really want. Some people are going to gaming headsets instead of speaker systems. I had a ton of MCU Blu-rays I sold earlier this year because they were just stringy here. No getting watched. Oh yay, autocorrect. And if I ever do want to watch them, I got the MA code as well as digital. Yeah, sitting there. Yeah, thanks autocorrect. Not much of a drinker. Close to be some Irish cream in March. The Hoskins Mario is region free and has some cool extras to boot. Hey, I might check that out then. Couldn't find it on Amazon though. 1080p monitor, says Straw, 100% fine for me. They look good. You don't need 4K. Depends on the size. Can you see the detail? Back away far enough and certain resolutions don't make any sense. Get too close and you have problems like I had with World of Warcraft at this screen size where I'm trying to PvP and I can't find my mouse cursor because it goes into my peripheral vision and I lose track of where it is. So like I got to click on something. Oh shoot, I can't find it. So hasn't worked out all that well for me. So anybody has anything else to say, go ahead and say it in the chat. We caught up on everything, but I have a stack of movies. that I'm going to be watching, and we're just going to scramble everything and just do whatever, whenever. I think what I should do for the rest of the, and I'm going to be watching more movies because I'm just too tired even to play video games. I do still have the background. I have other stuff. I do still have the backgrounds and I still have other stuff, but Straw says, for big TVs, 4K is an option, but small screen 1080p is good enough. Well, yeah, I mean, there's going to be 1080 phones for the foreseeable future as well. So much of YouTube's traffic nowadays is on phones. YouTube right now is pushing for more smart TV adoption because that's another way that people can watch videos. Because it's like Netflix, basically, only it has YouTube channels. That's one of the ways that YouTube is at war trying to get eyeballs on it, so to speak. So no dropped frames too. Interesting. Well, there was a recent fiber maintenance in the area, so I'm glad that we haven't gotten any dropped frames and stuff. Let's see. As someone with a 4K monitor, says Logan, I think it's absolutely worth it. 1440p is good too. I personally wouldn't go back to 1080. I wouldn't go back to regular 1080. I wouldn't use my second monitor as a main monitor anymore. But big 1080 is still okay for me. TVs will be dead in 10 years once Apple Vision knockoffs come out en masse, says Fubar Mike. Yeah, well, hey, a panel's a panel. I mean, do you really want to buy $1,000 headsets for all your friends so you can watch a football game or something? Nah, I think panels are panels. My dad watches YouTube on the TV and finds it cool, says Dan. Yeah, I was watching it and it very much reminded me of Netflix. That's one of the reasons why I don't want to have those video formats with in-video advertising and stuff where people are constantly having an arrow around. That's trying to do that with a TV remote. And actually, the YouTube brass were actually talking about that as well on Twitter. They're like, oh, this or the other. Straw says the very big TV in the living room is 4K. It's this is a smart TV. My dad watched a lot of movies on Netflix and Prime Video. Yeah, well, Prime Video pretty much is my Netflix. Hey, since we're talking about like YouTube-y type stuff and whatnot, I should probably let me throw in my opinion on darn fly. Let me throw in my opinion on Threads. So Meta basically released Instagram without the pictures. That's what Threads is. It's basically the comment section and text. So, I almost got him. I got to be careful though, as I I hit a metal shelf, so I got some liquid bandage going on this finger too. Not good when I'm trying to recover from fingers going numb. But so Threads, it's Instagram without the pictures. It was a flash in the pan because it's a bit of an outrage platform, but there are already outrage platforms for people that hate Elon Musk. There's Mastodon, there's Spoutable, there's Blue Sky, there's Tribel, which will actually ban you for being a capitalist because they're so far left. But I already saw someone get a ban email and post it on Twitter. I got banned from Tribel because I'm not a socialist. Like, oh, there you go. Political platforms. Yay. It was like Democratic Underground back in the day. If you were the tiniest, if you weren't like lockstep with John Kerry or something, you would get instantly permabanned from those forums. No, it's just stuff like that anyways. But yeah, so this whole situation with Threads. Threads is a solution searching for a problem. I think it's also very heavily censored. They don't want politics on Threads, and they don't want Blue Sky is the old CEO's website, says Dan. Yeah, well, that's what that is. There's just so many Twitter clones nowadays that eventually there's going to be a shakeout and the weaker ones are going to go out of business. That's how markets work. They're not going to have the critical mass and people are going to stop using them and they'll go the way of MySpace. But the thing I have with Threads, Threads is heavily censored. Meta is already coming down hard on removing posts Instagram style if they're about too incendiary of topics because they're trying to be the anti-Twitter. So because of that, I don't feel like walking on eggshells. Threads for me is got to be a content feed similar to what I used to do on Twitter for people that only know me through Meta platforms. If you found out about my channel through Instagram, with the souped up screenshots that I do of Forza Horizon and ESO, which is what I primarily use Instagram for, is souped up screenshots, even though they get truncated for phone screens. If you found out about what I do through Instagram, Threads will be an easy way to go see Twitch clips and YouTube videos. I do occasionally mess with AI, like Athene AI over on Twitch, and I want to make a YouTube video, actually, of some of those clips that I have. Of some of the clips that I have of me messing with the AI or some of the zingers that I've collected as other people have messed with AI as well. Like getting AI Jesus to go whoop, 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 whoop until the thing reset and he went on to the next question. It's called Ask Jesus over on Twitch. There's also Athene AI Heroes from the same guy that did the Athene videos in World of Warcraft back in the day. Yeah, he's older now and he does AI. So anyways, it's kind of fun to see people mess with the AI and know that AI is not going to take over the world because computers don't have any common sense. Everybody who thinks that AI is going to become Skynet doesn't understand computers. They're just trying to get you all worked up over stuff. There will always be limits to AI. There will always be limits to computers. There's this spark that makes us human, that makes us living, that makes us organic. And we haven't been able to replicate that through machine learning. And we're going to have a hard time doing it because the randomness of creativity and artistic expression, good luck getting computers to do that. Even the AI that does that, like Stable Diffusion, needs to be taught patterns in order to do that. Same thing too with language models. Found something on YouTube today. Somebody getting the late Johnny Cash to sing Barbie Girl and the Spice Girls music. Language models. But they had to take recordings in order to generate that. It's a cool technology, but there's people that are trying to make money off of stuff people don't know, kind of like most Apple products. And so the limitations of computers are what's going to be in play with that. Let's see what we have here. I like YouTube on the TVs because a few clicks away on your phone, it sends that video right on the TV. Oh, yeah. Your smartphone is your universal remote. Works great. AI is funny. I like AI because start conversating or talking about something that I'm confused about. I always learn something every day. I'm not scared of it. I watch SpongeBob AI sing music, says Dan. Yeah, Athene actually has an AI SpongeBob channel that's using a SpongeBob mod in Minecraft in order to to generate that stuff. I'm not from the SpongeBob generation, so I never really got into SpongeBob. I just thought back when I tried to work at a cable company years and years ago, I thought it was overplayed on TV when Nickelodeon became SpongeBob all the time. What do I have over here in this pile of movies is collecting dust? Oh, yeah, 007, On Her Majesty. Oh, that's right. I was going through the James Bond movies. I got a Sean Connery collection that I've never opened in a couple of years. Hopefully the discs aren't defective. And I got On Her Majesty's Secret Service. This is from when I bought a bunch of Blu-rays a couple of years ago during the pandemic lockdowns, and they were cheap back then, too. Yeah, 1080p is a mainstream format. Phones will probably be 1080p for the foreseeable future. I'm sure there'll be a 4K phone. It'll be sold to rich people that have no clue about physics. But I'm sure someone will make a 4K phone, sell it as 4K, even if it doesn't make sense to actually buy it. They're already doing it with TVs. Smaller 4K TVs don't make much sense versus 1080. What do we have here? How can a bunch of ones and zeros on a screen take over the planet? They can do repetitive stuff really well. So bureaucratic jobs or stuff that's repetitive, that's that's the sort of stuff computers can do. Certain like boring lawyer tasks and whatnot could be sent to automations and then just checked afterwards. But it didn't take AI to do this. I can tell you that during my SQL programming days making queries, I used Microsoft Access's point-and-click interface to generate SQL instead of typing it out and having to get the syntax right and not fat finger stuff or do typos. I would often have to do... But also, there was also a program by Oracle, a report-running program by Oracle, that I used to generate SQL for queries that I did when I ran the palletizer machine. It was an old, deprecated program the company was trying to move away from. But I could use it to make SQL. I didn't need AI for that. What I was doing was I took tables from our systems and I drew joins and stuff, linked the data together, and made a query with a point-and-click interface. And then took the SQL to use in Excel for Power Query, because Excel and Power BI, I don't know how many people have seen Power BI, it's Microsoft's answer to Tableau for like data for businesses and stuff. Excel and Power BI use the same query language. Maybe now the Power BI one might be more robust, but it's called M. So it's called M for some reason. Not to be confused with the James Bond character. But what I did was I generated SQL, then took it into Excel, where I could customize it a lot more in the newer format that Microsoft 365 lets you do. And if anybody in the company wanted to make something out of it for Power BI, it would mostly be a copy-paste job. Most of what I did, though, wasn't like a company-wide thing or a site-wide thing that would be worth putting through Power BI. But I don't know how many of the managers realize that Excel sheets nowadays, I know I used to make fun of spreadsheets many years ago because people misused them all the time when they could have made an Access database instead. But under the right circumstances, spreadsheets can be more robust in Excel these days than Access files, and easier to support. And easier to scale, too, because you can take something in Excel, take the data sources, put it in Power BI, and take it into the cloud. But you build the prototypes in Excel, or small stuff in Excel. And you just use local processor for it. And there's plenty of processing cycles out there, even on little tiny net tops these days. But when you want to scale it up and put it on cloud stuff, then you just take it into Power BI. So fun. Dan says, I think AI can replace some jobs. I think art people might want handmade more. Yeah, I mean, art is subjective. It's definitely a form of art to see how far we can go in terms of making computers creative. But it's not like something that's made by a real artist. The problem is it's all subjective, so it depends on what customers value. And AI has a honeymoon effect going on because it's so new. So that could be part of the problem right there with this kind of stuff. See if anything else pops up. What are we at? One hour and 40 minutes? Yeah, I'm not going to be the kind of person that does chat streams for 6, 7, 8 hours. Just doesn't make any sense to do so. Plus, we have some people watching this after the fact. They'll be listening to it in the background. It will basically function like a podcast that way. But so as far as streams go, I want to set up that light that I've been meaning to add to my smart setup as a stream light so I can get lit a little more consistently when playing Morrowind. But I definitely want to play Morrowind. Morrowind was a late summer 2003 for me. We're heading into late summer 2023. 20-year anniversary thing, yeah, that'll be next. I'm not going to drive myself nuts too much because I screwed up. And it's nobody's fault but my own that I didn't follow the plan. But one of the biggest problems that I've had on this channel going all the way back to 2006, I'd make grandiose plans, and then wanting to execute on that plan would stop me from doing anything else. This is just the latest example of this happening. I had my channel stop for like a month because I wanted to make the rookie mistakes in people making their presentations video. And so it's been a problem on this channel for the entire time it has been around. So it's been like that for... This is a problem I constantly have issues with. Plus, the weather's not cooperating. There's really no way for me to stay up late anymore to be able to do tech videos where I can shut the AC off and then do them while the house is warming back up in these humid-ass nights with 70-degree dew points. I mean, I walk outside, and just from the humidity alone, everything feels warmer, even if it's the same temperature. We have fans at work, but the air is so heavy with humidity that the airflow stops very quickly. The other problem we're having is only having one shift. We don't open the vents in the place at night anymore. We can't because the building's closed. Straw says it's 1 a.m. I should probably sleep. Enjoy the rest of your stream, Jay. Oh, I'm going to call it a night soon myself. Looking to wrap this up, but hey, have a good night, Straw Tech. Thanks for stopping by. Dan says, reminds me of the 2010s when crypto was the big deal. Now it's AI. Oh, yeah, crypto sure collapsed now, didn't it? Sayonara, crypto. Like Pogs back in the day when I was growing up. Everybody was playing Pogs in middle school, and then I bought some for myself, and everybody stopped playing them. I got into it right as the fad was dying, and Pogs were being sold for like all you can grab at the flea markets for $1. But yeah, the weather hasn't been cooperating, and I really shouldn't grind this channel to a halt and get myself all upset over something I don't really have any control over. That's just the way it is. The same thing in life too. You don't want to, this is something I say with regards to warehouse people all the time, because many of the people starting unnecessary drama and making things unnecessarily difficult, I should say, do the exact same thing wrong. They get mad at something that's just happening anyway. They take as a personal insult something that's just happening. It's par for the course. Oh, there's more people buying stuff in the summer and the winter because of all the fun stuff that happens in the summer and Christmas time. Don't take personal offense to it if you have to work more hours. You know? Oh, you're an inventory person. A lot of your job involves dealing with stuff other people messed up. Don't go thinking everybody always does their job wrong because you're only seeing the bad apples of the bunch. Don't take personally what's just happening anyways. And I think there is a lesson to be learned from that. I should probably also mention, kind of as a footnote to all of this, I'm going to start having an involvement on Twitch again for these Amazon watch parties. If I find like a cheesy horror movie like Land Shark or something, any of the cheesy B movies and stuff that could be streamed on a watch party on Amazon, I might just do that for Twitch. So I can do something with this Twitch affiliate thing. There's almost nothing that I really want to do on Twitch anymore, except what Twitch is naturally better at than everybody else. And the only thing they're really better at is the stuff that's Amazon specific. So, I mean, when I become more familiar with what's on Prime Video and I'll cross-reference it to what you're able to stream, I'll probably do some watch party, maybe like Saturday night movie nights or something like that, if I'm not working on a tech video or something. But before we can even talk about that kind of stuff, we got to figure out this Morrowind thing. I want to play Morrowind again, preferably get a game going where I have save games that don't rely on any mods. And then I just mod the game to my heart's content and back up the saves this time, so I don't have like 500 screenshots and then lose the save games in a hard drive crash like I did back in the 2000s. But Morrowind also has been modded to, it's just been modded like crazy to the point where it's better looking than Oblivion sometimes. So there's super mods that I can install that will completely change the game. But for this trip down memory lane, I want to do the old-fashioned Morrowind, warts and all, crashes to the desktop if they still happen with the Steam version. We are going back, and I am confronting my past with this. So if the weather doesn't cooperate, the next thing you'll see from me is going to be play some stuff beginning in August, or maybe even before then. But definitely by August, we should be getting involved with streaming Morrowind. Might be a weekend thing, because might be a weekend thing on like a Saturday or something, but I've already beaten Morrowind and its expansions and modded the game so much that Morrowind, that you couldn't even tell there was an original game still underneath there. But I am going to confront what I used to consider good 20 years ago as a hotshot college kid who finally found a game to get completely wrapped up in back in those days. I'm going to confront the fact that it's better for your character to run in slow motion and not be able to jump for the first chunk of the game. The primitive graphics, the, swinging a sword, clearly making contact with a mud crab, but it counting as a miss because of the combat system. Yeah, we're going to confront the past and see how much it sucked. I might even get like AVGN with it. So we'll get set up for that. Want to thank everybody for stopping by tonight. It's 7:50 at the Geek House. This has been one heck of a ramble fest, but I hope everyone's all caught up on this. After the fact crowd and DVR mode crowd, have fun. I do not, unless something really, really bad happens, I don't delete streams anymore to convert into videos. So this is YouTube. There's options available on YouTube that aren't available on the streaming platforms. And that's one of the reasons why I still stream here. But fundamentally, streaming is just not going to be a big thing with me because I'd rather make stuff that people like and have it be about the what rather than parade around with a camera like these stuck-up influencers that are full of themselves doing everything based on The Who. And I don't mean the classic rock band. So let's get set up for 20 years since Morrowind, which I will be playing, by the way, with that HP keyboard. I got a USB conversion kit for it, so I can use it with Monolith now. And I have my original Microsoft IntelliMouse Explorer 3 mouse from the 2000s that I will be using to play this game again. So we'll be switching back to a membrane keyboard, and we'll be playing it like it's 2003 on a 2023 display. I got to get set up for that, so we'll make something. Probably look for it by August. I want this to line up with 20 years. So the reason why I'm focusing on late summer and the dog days of summer is I played Battlefield 1942, summer 2003, working with the IT people at my college, managed to get some summer jobs working with them. Pretty much every year there was something IT or AV wanted me to do on campus. So I was able to stay on campus during the summers most of the time. But yeah, so Summer of the Geek was 2002. We would go to work and then do IT stuff, then come home and watch the screensavers back in the day on Tech TV. And 2003 was when I called home for my consoles and played Ocarina of Time, Battlefield 1942, all kinds of games on my combo setup with the TV card for the first time, and stuff along those lines. And then also, then I got into Morrowind, and one of the things that my roommates back in college, suite mates, I should say, we all had singles. We didn't have to worry about roommates during the summer. One of the things that my suite mates, by the way, those Geek Suite pictures I have from back in those days, that's the summer they're from, is 03. But that's the summer they're from, is the last summer of 03. So these people, they were all happy because I wasn't constantly having explosions going through my subwoofer in the dorms because I wasn't playing Battlefield anymore. I had switched to a softer game like Morrowind, and the AC was blasting when I moved into my housing to be a senior in college. So running AC in the middle of a hot summer like this, playing Morrowind in late summer, is going to feel like I mean, unless I can Airbnb in my old college dorm room, which I don't know if my alma mater would actually let me do. The weird Airbnbs of 2020 are very much a thing of the past. I think this is the closest I would be able to get to that. Now, of course, this is plain white walls, kind of like my last dorm room was. So I could go to switch this over to Geek House Daylight mode, which I have now, and instead of dark mode. But you know what? Let's not go too overboard with the nostalgia. Well, that's what this is about. We're gonna confront my past with Morrowind and how it led to my interest in RPGs, and well, not my interest in RPGs, my interest in PC RPGs, game, and even MMOs. World of Warcraft, playing Neverwinter Nights in the online stores, and things along those lines. Mike says, if you really want to be authentic, go find a 22-inch CRT monitor. It'd be a good workout lugging it in, too. I'm surprised nerds aren't jacked from all the monitor lifting. I used a 17-inch CRT monitor, if that's what you're talking about. The HP one that I had was 17 inches, and the Samsung that replaced it was 17 inches. My dad got the 19-inch. I got my dad the 19-inch one, though. But yeah, I used 17s for quite some time. Dan says, I've been looking at 4x3. Oh, I can make a format for that. Maybe get a picture of a HP monitor to put the game inside of. Hey, yeah. So why don't we do that? Let's set it for August, and let's start working on the assets in late July. If I'm too tired to do anything else, I'll get set up for those games. Bring back my old screenshots, do a screenshot theater setup for it. Let's have some fun with this and get it ready to go for August. And see what, maybe do whatever other tech videos I want to do. But I'm at the point where, I've been getting hammered and clobbered by this job to the point where I'm starting to get used to it. So I should be able to actually have some more energy on the weekends. Let's hope. Till next time, this is Multimedia J signing off. Thanks for stopping by.